And welcome back to Late Night Love. Tonight we got a night of tiny fractures, big feelings, and the moments that push us to the edge. You know, some nights it's not the grand betrayals or the sweeping heartbreaks that undo us. It's this small, relentless things. The partner who won't eat the meals you made with love. The coworker who keeps nudging your boundaries. The teenager who suddenly shuts their door and their world. The relationship that fades without a goodbye. Tonight on Late Night Love, we're sitting with the quiet hurts. The ones we swallow, the ones we laugh off, the ones we pretend don't matter until they do. This is a soft, light, deep breath kind of episode. A reminder that the little things are rarely little at all. So there.
Well, sometimes they can be little things.
But you know what's not little?
What?
Them hitting like, subscribe, share,
Yes.
tweet, all that good fun stuff for us. It would be a big help. We appreciate it when you guys do those kind of things. Oh, we've got to log you in. I should just log you into your thing, into YouTube. We should just answer comments on the show.
That's a good one.
So we'll work that in somehow, some way. And
That's a brilliant idea.
Well, not all comments deserve to be answered on the show.
Yeah,
Some
well,
don't,
yeah.
But not all are meant to be answered on the show.
Yeah.
But sometimes they are. Sometimes they can spark a good discussion.
Yeah.
So we'll start doing that at some point. Maybe that's something we can do at the top of the show before we get in. Gives people a reason to come to catch the live show, or at least go back and watch it. Because you never know exactly when we're going live. Because we never know exactly when we're going live. It's Sunday nights, early Monday morning, depending upon your perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're early tonight.
We're early tonight because I woke up and somebody wasn't home and got shocked into,
I thought you were
oh my God, marauding horse. He's in the hospital. Ice got him.
Yeah, ice got me. Yeah. You know what's funny is I heard you go to the bathroom, then I went and walked in there, and it was all back and quiet in there again. So I thought you went back to sleep.
Oh.
So I ran down the street to get a soda so I'd have some energy to put the studio together.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I wasn't gone but 5 minutes, and Miss Missy over here went panicked. Like, good Lord, woman. So anyway, we'll get to that a little later on. But we're going to start with our live segment. And in the live segment, we're talking about the tiny indignities that stack up like unpaid bills. The partner who refuses your meal prep. The coworker who wants a free ride home. The office forced run that feels like emotional taxation. The colleague who keeps taking credit for your work. These aren't dramatic crises. They are the slow leaks that drain your energy and your joy. And they matter. Or maybe not. Sometimes the question is, should they matter as much as you
Exactly.
think you?
Yeah.
That's a question
Yeah.
to answer. And we'll talk about that as we go through. All right. So let's just jump in tonight and see what we got.
Okay, this first one I totally feel. Okay, I am about to walk away from everything because my partner won't eat the meal prep I make. Girl, I'm totally with you. Okay, I went through this. Jazz over here has some food issues, so that I refused to recognize at first because I was used to providing a meal at least in the evening, you know, a substantial meal for family, you know, and I was prepared to do it again, you know, for him and his family. But he has food issues. The kids wouldn't eat the food that I eat, you know, and my daughter that was living here. And, you know, I wasted a lot of money try and continue to provide that meal that no one was eating. And so, you know, he finally let me know, look, you know, let me cook for myself. You know, this is not this is it's unrealistic for you to expect to meet the 5 things that I can eat every night. And and the kids are just they are set in their ways, and I'll take care of it. So and that was hard, man, because that was I've been cooking for people since I was 9, so I feel your pain. It's very integrated into this whole femaleness and caring for our man, to feed him, because, food, let's face it, for a lot of men, food is a big freaking deal. They talk about it and they think about it all day long, what's happening for dinner. They want to know before they leave in the morning, so what's for dinner? You're out there, ladies, you feel me? And so this is the other side of the coin, where you just have to let it go.
Well, and here's my question. Are you making things he wants or things you want him to eat?
I let it go.
Yeah. Well,
it's clearly
not what he wants.
It's gotten over the top. It's gotten to be too much for her.
Well,
she needs to step back for a while.
She's clearly not making things that he actually wants to eat. Because if he was, he would eat them. Stop trying to control what his diet is. Be all right. He can feed himself. Then don't.
He really can.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. He's an adult. He's 35.
Yeah, he's been making his own food.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion she likes the or it may become she's this meal thing, right? And he's not a meal person. He's been a bachelor for 15 years. He's just eats when he feels like eating.
Yeah.
That's how, if you let us, that's what we do. We don't have dinner times. We eat when we feel like eating. And you might run into that. And we never know on any given day what we want to eat. So these meal plans is kind of annoying. And then you add stuff that I don't want that anyway. You should keep trying to give him Indian food or Thai food or you want to try food from Somalia or something, which is great, except he just wants a hamburger at the end of the day, or a steak, potatoes, and maybe a beer or something. You've got a steak and potatoes guy and you're trying to make him into a international foodie, and it's just not going to go well. But also, let's remember, everybody experiences food differently. We experience flavors differently. We experience textures differently. And so what you think is great food, another person can feel is unedible. And not because they're uncultured, not because their taste buds don't work. It's simply because they experience the world differently than you do. And that's actually okay. Your world doesn't have to resolve around food. If what's important, you guys spending the time is, well, then coordinate your time so you guys are making your dinners together. It's actually not more expensive to have separate meals because you're actually eating the same amount of food. So
it'd be a change in your routine.
Yeah.
You can still have that together time.
And find out what's actually making you upset. Is it that, you're taking time to prep the meal and then it's not getting eaten, which is understandable, then just stop making the meal. And if you're doing it to express your love and you feel like that's being rejected, well, okay.
There you go.
Now, okay, that's superficially it's understandable, but if you think about it too long, it's a little silly. If you think about it a little bit, it's understandable. It's emotionally understandable. Superficially, it's emotionally understandable. You get it. But you think about it and you go, that's an awful lot of pressure to put on somebody overcooking some food. Find other ways to express your love. There's lots of them. Pick one. Just pick a different way. That's all you have to do.
I send people pictures of flowers. Is what I do.
So, yeah. So figure out what's actually annoying you. It may be, she's more traditional. She likes sit down dinners. We all eat the same thing, and that's one thing. But if it's well, I'm feeling like I'm expressing my love for him and he's rejecting it. Well, you're expressing your love in a way that he's not capable of receiving in the way you wish.
If you know what I did to fix that, because that is how that is my food is one of my love languages. And what I did was find out the things that you really like and make those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
So, yeah. So there you go. Our suggestion is to take a little of the pressure off of this activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it is a societal thing, too.
Well, I don't think it's
cultural.
I think this is too universal to be cultural.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, we're not prisoners to it, but it's pretty dang universal across the world that women try to feed men as an expression of love. It's pretty universal. So it goes beyond culture. I mean, you can find this in pretty much every culture on the planet.
Okay.
You know, we're not prisoners to it. It's one of those things we're not prisoners to, but there is some sort of innate need or desire. Like men have an innate need or desire to impress and protect women. Why? I don't know. Makes us really stupid, but we do it. It's not bright at all, but we do it until we learn not to. That's just, we're not prisoners to it, but there is some goofy, innate human need to do these things.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. And it is a goofy innate human need.
It really is.
It probably worked when we were cave people or whatever, but it's not really functional these days. Okay.
Well, you killed the animals, brought it to us, and we cooked it.
Or something like that.
It's pretty basic.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was probably oversimplifying it, but yeah. I don't want to oversimplify our human history, the complexities of human evolution, but in a generic terms, okay, sure. Yeah.
Bottom lining it.
Yeah. When you're talking about
Stop that.
When you're talking about
Talking to the cat.
yeah, percentages. Yeah, okay. All right. So what's next?
Okay. How do I politely tell a coworker to stop asking me to drive him home?
Just say no and don't worry about being polite. Just keep saying no and they'll eventually stop.
Okay.
That's the best way to handle those things. There's no really need to go any farther than just say no. And he'll get it after a week. Start asking other people. But, is it on the way home? Is it really out of your way? Is it really, Many a times I was able to get to and from work because coworkers were willing to pick me up and drop me off.
Yeah.
Is the guy annoying? Is it actually taking time out of your day? Are you going significantly far out your way? You have to hop off the freeway, drive 3 blocks, and then go hop back on. Yeah. Hey, no one has to be kind to people in the world, but, it makes the world a better place.
It does.
So, and it's one thing if you have to drive all the way across town, but if it's on your way home, if you're delaying your arrival at home by 5 minutes and you're not increasing your costs in any real way, sometimes the better thing to be is the decent human being. He is not going to behave himself. He cannot help himself. All right, what's next?
I'm sure that makes it wonderful. You can't see him because he's black.
Yeah, and he's right behind my head.
He's black on a black chair.
Yeah. And he's right behind me. You can't
The
see him.
cat, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to behave himself.
Okay.
And probably not your coworker either, but just say no.
Okay.
All right.
My coworker keeps asking me when I'm getting married.
So these are 2 women who work in an office?
Yeah.
And she's had a long-term boyfriend or something?
Yeah.
And family and the whole 9 yards, and she's just not getting married? And
Yeah.
All the other worker is going, I don't understand?
Yes.
Yeah. She's not going to stop. So just my suggestion is figure out how to not get annoyed by it. Or you can just make up a date in 5 years.
20.
Just make it up in 5 years. Say we're planning a destination wedding in Fiji or something. It might take us 5-6 years to save up the money, so we're not exactly sure. There you go, and you just leave it at that. And then it's close enough where, oh, okay, she's giving me an answer, but far enough away and a big enough thing where.
Oh, forget it. Don't make a big lie. Tell the truth. I don't know. Just keep saying, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what I do with you.
I don't know.
They keep asking me, when are you getting married? I don't know. When the cows come home.
When it's your business. How's about that?
Okay, Dad. Who are you? The relationship police? Stop it.
Yeah. That's when we're getting married. It's someone else's business. All right. What's next?
But I thought we kind of mutually decided marriage is a lofty ideal, and I'm sure you'd be a wonderful husband, but I'd prefer it just to have a commitment ceremony thing.
Sweetie, we are already libertarian married.
But we're not.
Oh, but we are.
But we're not.
And how long have we been together? In any practical sense.
I want to hear the words.
In any practical sense, are we or are we not married? As we essentially are. We live as a married couple.
Domestic partners.
That's just a euphemism for married, without paperwork.
Exactly. That's what we got.
Which is what I said. Which is libertarian married. You just be married. You don't have to go to tell anybody except each other. And we told each other that a long ass time ago.
I need a pretty dress, my hair done up, a church, and flowers.
Oh, well, that ain't gonna happen. So.
Okay, maybe not a church because I know you. Okay, well, outdoors. How's that?
All right. What? Yeah, we're gonna have a fight on the air. All right. So we're gonna move on. What do we have next?
I said you could wear the purple suit. Okay.
Yeah, but I gotta get a nice one if I do that.
Okay. My husband keeps healthfully rearranging, hiding, and disposing of my stuff. What tactic or wording can I use to stop it?
This is one of these things where I go, you know, how long wives have been doing this to husbands. This is just such a common thing where all of a sudden our favorite shirts and stuff just kind of disappear, never to be seen again. It kind of magically happens. So what can you do to stop it? I don't know. Ask the man who's actually been able to stop it. It just happens. But I suppose it kind of depends.
Now, I have gotten better at it. I started out that way with you, being helpful. And then I realized you couldn't find your stuff.
I barely know where it is now.
So I had to stop.
Yeah, the last thing you can do with me is put my stuff where it belongs, so I'll never find it.
Yeah, I know. I know. I did it for a couple of years.
I don't remember
and
where
then
it
it finally
belongs.
sunk in. Stop it,
I have
Christina.
no idea where anything belongs, so how am I supposed to find it where it belongs? I don't know where it belongs. So I don't have a belonging place for things, which is part of my problem, but that's a whole different discussion. I have no idea where anything belongs, so nothing has a place to belong.
Do you know how badly I want to get you a bowl and put it by the door so you can put your keys in your wallet and your phone into it when you get home, and that's where they live.
No, that's how they get stolen. You don't want your keys and stuff by the door.
Oh, stop it.
All right, so back to this ladies thing. How can you do to stop it?
Okay, let me see. You're going to have a talk with him.
Yeah, and this is going to depend kind of why. You know, are they rearranging things because you guys are now just don't want the house arranged the same way, and so you guys are essentially, it's like a thermostat fight, but with furniture?
No, her stuff. It's her stuff, her personal belongings. You know, her face cream, her keys, you know, her meditation book.
Oh, so all these things we were just down here talking about.
Huh?
All right, well, Well, some of the stuff can leach into, mutual territory. So maybe there's. See, here's the problem. I don't want to give either one of them a benefit of the doubt. I have a suspicion.
They're both a little bit guilty. Okay, here's an idea.
Like her makeup extends into his thing in the bathroom. He's annoyed by the clutter on the desks on the bathroom counter, so he keeps putting it away, right? or arranging it so it doesn't look so much cluttered. And she gets in there now. She can't find anything because it's arranged. And her disaster there was a system to her disaster. Okay, and she doesn't mind the clutter. He can't stand it, right? This kind of thing. You've got the Odd Couple. Remember the show, The Odd Couple? Back in the
yes,
yeah. They've got. I have a suspicion they got an odd couple, and what they're actually going to have to do is sit down here, and you're all both going to have to come to an agreement where neither one of you are going to like it.
No,
but you're going to have to decide what you can live with.
A compromise.
Yeah.
I had an idea.
Yeah, let me leave my makeup.
What we've done is kind of designate certain areas of the house as our own territory. For example, I have an area in the living room, a little a side table that I have my devotional books. I've got some pictures. I've got my Yay for Me statue that I got from church, little stuff like that. And it's my area. And now Jazz used to have a whole room, but daughter unit moved in. She's between leases. So now he's out here in a corner in the studio. But that is his area. I don't move stuff. Now, he graciously allows me to keep a smoking implement there, for when he's sleeping and I can't be in the bedroom.
You have the whole studio, by the way.
I know.
So.
But I like sitting in your space.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like cats. You just own it.
Sure. Sure thing. Oh, gee, I wonder what their problem is. So, I don't know. Take a little stock of yourself. See how much of this. I have a suspicion, and I could be wrong. Could be 100% wrong. He could be being a jerk. She could be a complete disaster and doesn't want to admit that she's a hoarder and a mess maker. It could be an extreme. But I have a suspicion you've just got some people. She doesn't mind a little bit of clutter because it's systematic in her day.
He's a neat freak,
and he's kind of a neat freak, and he can't take it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And because you guys haven't worked through it, and to the point where I can accept this level of disaster, or in exchange for neater makeup thing, or hey, how about you use the other bathroom for your makeup instead of the shared,
Claim some space for yourself.
Yeah, there gotta
and
be
then
some way.
really compromise on the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Okay. The forced fun at my office is making me want to scream.
Forced fun. I hate forced fun, but what kind of forced fun?
Oh, they're having to do these games that build team building stuff.
Okay, here's the thing.
That they get off the internet.
Here's the thing about team building stuff. The whole point of team building is for you to just surrender to it and right. That's actually the whole point, is to get you to surrender to
surrender to the team.
Not necessarily surrender to the team, but to surrender to the process. You're surrendering to the process. They're trying to get you to loosen up around your teammates. It's the whole point. It's so you can actually function better as a team because you essentially know each other a little bit better. You understand how people function better. You can communicate better because you've been through things that are different than your daily routine, right? You've got other experiences to communicate around. There's a whole... The reasoning for it is actually quite sound. The execution is not always sound, but the reasoning for it is actually quite sound. But it does require some buy-in. Not everybody can buy in, but it's It's like going to a Renaissance fair, right? Don't go to a Renaissance fair if you can't buy in. You don't necessarily have to dress up and do all the 9 yards, but you've got to suspend some disbelief. You've got to kind of dive into the thing.
If somebody talks to you in Old English, you got to take a stab at it back.
Or at least play along, appreciate it.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to take a stab back at it because, actor, you're just going to make right? You don't want to make a fool of yourself. You're afraid. They're perfectly accepting of that. Just appreciate it. Just appreciate their depth. Just don't be a jerk is essentially the thing.
These people.
You try to buy in. It's like going into a movie. You have to suspend some disbelief in order to enjoy a Fast and Furious movie, right? You just have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But lots of people go in and enjoy Fast and Furious movies.
Well, I was going to say Lord of the Rings, but go ahead.
Pick a movie, frankly. There is none that you don't have to suspend some.
Could totally happen.
Even something like Oppenheimer, you have to suspend some disbelief because they compressed the story and had to, amp up some spots to make it, more interesting. Mm-hmm. Because they do have to make a movie. Mm-hmm. And so even something like that has the same. Yeah. So my suggestion is to, instead of wanting to scream, do the YOLO thing and not just try it for once.
YOLO?
Yeah, you only live once. Just go for it. Just play the game. You don't have to enjoy it, but what you do have to do is just, try it. You might enjoy it. Is the point?
Yeah.
If you actually let your guard down and actually decide to, to participate, it's all good. Don't be so afraid of making a fool of yourself to not make a fool of yourself. It's okay in a situation like that to make a fool of yourself. Lots of people do every day.
That's what I would do when they used to have those things. I would dive in. I would overact,
Overcommit to it, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Commit to the bit.
Yeah. The all in. Here we go. Let's get this over with.
If you're going to do it, commit to the bit. Yeah, but you came from the military. You kind of have to do that in the military. It's just the way life is.
Well, yeah. You ain't going to make it.
Yeah. But that's kind of just, you want to make it so you don't scream, then you have to become part of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will make you want to scream. So, or you find a way to get out of it and take the day off. Schedule the day off for, I don't know, you have to take your uncle's cousin to
the airport.
Yeah, it's something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you find out that happens to be the day, I mean, you can pull that kind of stuff off. But
I'm going to the library. Sorry.
My suggestion is, it's not like, hopefully they're not doing karaoke, that kind of thing. Because no one wants to hear me sing.
No, they never did karaoke where I work.
No, because that's too embarrassing. They usually keep it within
something.
Because it is work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. It is work related. You have to, satisfy HR at the same time. Okay. What's next?
Okay. Bored at self-checkout. She's one of the self-checkout people. Just, making sure people don't steal and stuff like that. Any problems, she goes and fixes it. And it just,
Yeah.
It's mind-numbing. It is.
There's lots of jobs that are mind-numbing right up until the point they're not, right? And it is what it is. This is where you get to learn this thing about work ethic, right? Is the hard part. You're actually getting paid to stay focused when it's difficult.
Mm-hmm. That's what you're getting paid for.
That's literally what you're getting paid for.
Yeah.
That's when those times where it's slow and you just got to kind of have to stand there and stand around and do nothing. You're getting paid to
stand around and do nothing and just be aware, be frosty.
And still be paying attention. And, maybe you go fill your time, you go clean the machines, you just go wipe them down, sanitize the machines. That's what they do.
Yeah.
You do the small things, tasks of your job, and you focus on those during the really boring times. You focus on the small things. You do the little things right, and the big things are easy.
Yeah.
So, it's my suggestion. Just keep your focus on the small things. Keep the eye on the bigger prizes. You're paid to do that. You could be paid to clean toilets. Just think of it that way. Now, oddly enough, if you want to go be a plumber, you can make a lot of money. So
You could.
yeah, the plumber was here 20 minutes, made $300. So, so yeah, that's because he knew what he was doing. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they get. So go be a plumber. That's my suggestion.
Actually, there was 3 of them.
Yeah, I think 2 trainees probably.
2 trainees, yeah.
Yeah. So, but there you go. Go be a plumber. Your day is always interesting,
Yes.
and you will always be needed,
And you get bank.
and you make a lot of money.
You make a lot of money.
Now, if you
Okay.
want a cleaner environment, go learn to be an electrician, but that's a little harder.
They do. That'll kill you.
Well, only if you screw up. Follow your safety protocols if you're an electrician. But they teach you those. That's like the first things they teach you. So, all right. What's last?
Last question for the life. Okay. How do you deal with a coworker who takes credit for your work?
Well, you just keep I never personally worried about these things because most people know who does the real work. It's, people stealing credit for work is usually not very as effective as we think it is. Just for your knowledge, people know, generally speaking, because there's a paper trail. You've checked in with people above you. Hey, is this part okay? Yeah, sure. Okay, great. Thanks. Right. And you've put the thing together. Maybe the guy put the final report together and, into the nice presentation, and he gets to go up and do the thing. So everybody thinks, but no one thinks he did all of that. They all know. So, A, I wouldn't worry about it too much. But B, if you're really worried about it, it's one of those things where you document the process.
Everything.
Well, not just everything. You document the process. You make sure that people above you, the person above both of you, right, knows. You're checking in on the progress every now and again, so he knows that you've been part of the thing.
Yeah.
Schedule meetings every now and again with the guys above you both just to check in on this project. Right? I just wanted to let you know where we're at sitting at this project, and then you can bring them along. And then when the guy comes in and tries to take credit, the guy knows that, oh, wait, I've at least seen the process.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're really worried about that. But most of the time, these things are in our heads. Everybody knows. And so no one's taking the time to share that the whole team did all the work, because everybody knows the whole team did all the work, and it saves 10 minutes in the presentation that he doesn't want to give anyway. So, but he's giving it because he's the one that's good at it. Why aren't you the one giving the presentation if you did all the work? So, because that's the only way you get to take credit.
Yes.
Is by being the one to give the presentation. So, maybe next time, make sure you're the one to give the presentation. You put the final presentation together. Yeah, no, I got that. Yeah, it's going to require a little extra work. Yep, it will. But if that's what you're worried about, then you've got to play the game. Should you have to? Most often you don't. But if you want to be sure, I don't think it's worth it playing the game personally. But I never worked in major big corporate environments, so take my experience for what it's worth. I'm small to medium corporate environments, but not big ones. So, anyway. All right. If no one has told you lately, your boundaries are real, your frustration is valid, and you don't have to justify wanting peace, even in the small things. And from me and Lovey, but before we go, we want to remind you, you can hit the like, subscribe, fun, share thing, etc. You can find us at latenightLove.us. There's a contact form, and you can Send your questions, comments, suggestions, etc. to love@latenightLove.us. And from me and Levy, have a good night, and please remember to love everybody.
Good night.